So I'm starting the today classes. So today is the third lecture on drilling blasting course of Singareni Colliery Company Limited examination of MT examinations and geometry examinations. So, so do you have any doubt in the previous classes, previous two classes? As I promising you to that we will discuss all those previous classes topics before the starting of any new lectures. So here here in the previous two classes we studied that what are the drillings, what are the drilling types, and what are the properties of like pneumatic drilling and geomechanical properties. We have studied everything. So in today classes we study the development in the detonator and explosive for minings. Okay, so today classes is very interactive and you will definitely enjoy these classes. So I will explain the each and every concept of the explosive. Okay, so the information of these presentations and the classes has been gathered from the various sources. Okay, so these are the various sources where I collected the all this data from explosive books like Susil Vandari and Jimino is a very good books. Okay, so I wrote many research papers. So I believe that the lots of the content is coming from the research paper, and the report of projects and thesis I am just collecting from these sources. Okay, so before the starting anything about the explosive, so I just want to you have to you I am very curious to ask one question that if you listen an explosive, what are the first thought you in your mind is coming? Can you please explain in the chat box? If I speak explosive, what are the first thoughts coming in your minds? I am waiting for your comments because this class is to be interactive. Okay, blast. Definitely, we should. Blasting will be the first thought. That what I am expected from you, mining engineers and mining professionals. Okay, so the today classing, I just want to today classes to be very interactive, so that the you just not learn this topic, just you enjoy the this subject. Okay, so in the blasting, when we say the explosive, so the first things in coming our mind is that blast. Okay, Idam correctly point out. So here I'm just briefing the I'm just taking the some kinds of history. Okay, so when you relate the history, you can understand the explosive very well. Okay, so explosive in the kind of thing that is invented in the like early 2000 and centuries. Okay, early 13th centuries to 1500 BC, we can just discover these types of explosive. But basically the explosive is the substance when subjected to a suitable stimuli undergo the violent chemical decomposition with evolution of heat and gases. It means, in the simple word, when we apply sudden impact to an explosive in the very short duration of time, there is a large amount of chemical reaction take place, and that chemical reaction converted into the heat and gas within the very fraction of the time, and this fraction of time leads to be a explosion and converted into the noise energy and compressive energy, which lead to be a rock to be breaked. Okay, and if you read the second definitions of explosive, the explosive is a material containing stored stored in the chemical energy which can be rapidly released in the form of heat, high pressure, and when triggered into two. The difference is almost similar, that when we subject any impact, the chemical reaction take place, and that chemical reaction convert into high pressure gases and trigger into the explosion. And the third definition explaining the explosive is a chemical substance, sometimes maybe a mixture of fuel and oxidizer. Because I will explain in new slide. Wait, I just open the new slide. Here, when we talk about any explosive, okay, when we talk about any explosive, it is a combination of fuel plus oxidizer. And if we're talking about the fuel, so what is fuel? Like diesel and any oil that is carbohydrate. Okay, and in oxidizer, what is the use of oxidizer? they provide oxygen. Okay, so you know the fire triangle. What is fire triangle? Anybody can explain the chat box? What is fire triangle? मुझे सब लोग बताइए कमेंट्स में, what is fire triangles? Listen one thing, students. I am requesting everyone, please be interactive to the session so that you can understand the topic very well. Okay, and I know that how much you people are knowing the subject. What is fire triangle? So in the fire triangle, we we need three things. Okay, the first thing is the source of ignition. Second thing is the combustible material, and the third thing is the oxygen. If anyone is not present in that triangle, the fire will not take place. Okay, so here in explosive, here in explosive, the fuel is a combustible material. Okay, and the oxidizer is the oxygen. Okay, and plus we initiate we initiate by the means of detonator and by the means of safety fuse. Okay, I will explain everything in the next slide. So what is explosive? I'm just completing this topic. What is explosive? Explosive is a mixture of fuel and oxidizer by the stimuli of impact, that is for instantaneous impact. If instantaneous impact is taking place in the explosive, so a large amount of chemical reaction take place, and that chemical reaction converted into the heat and gases plus noise. Okay, plus vibration. These things are coming from this blasting, and this heat gas is producing in very fraction of second. It means that millisecond. Okay, so that's why rock break. Okay, so I'm just moving the slide. So the explosive is a chemical substance, sometimes maybe a mixture of fuel and oxidizer, which releases a huge quantity of shock. Like shock in term of what? Shock in term of vibrating pressures and air pressures and gas energy instantly triggered by the detonations or delay. Okay, so this is called explosive. Can you please comment? Are you people are getting my point or not? So this is called explosive. Okay. So next slides. So if we talk about the history of the explosive, so you feel very motivated and very energetic when you see the history of explosive. Like whenever in our classes like BTech and diploma, we studied that the gunpowder is the first explosive. Okay, but in the fine tuning, if you go to the history of the explosive, the gunpowder is not a first explosive actually. Okay, the Chinese discovered first explosive in the 3rd century BC, a little hands cannons that were used for celebrating the firework. इसको हम लोग that called is the Peterson, and Chinese never used the gunpowder as a weapon as a war. Okay, so China ने क्या किया था? थर्ड सेंचुरी बीसी में क्या किया था? उन्होंने डिस्कवर किया था एक्सप्लोसिव, एंड दैट एक्सप्लोसिव इज नोन एज द cannons, hand cannons, and pedestrians. Okay, in Germany, probably the first, मतलब हम लोग basically the first gunpowder is coming from the Germany. Germany probably first the English got the gunpowder through a Middle East business from the China. They started using it as a weapon to shoot a stone and a spike like. Take a second. Okay, they started using as a weapon to shoot the stone and spike like projections from tubes and later metal balls and cannon guns. Okay, the Roger Bacon perfected formula of the gunpowder in the 12th century, like 1242. Okay, so these are the pictures you seen that here. China is firstly uses the petitions where they use the as a explosive, and the Germany use it in the it's the वर्ल्ड वॉर में ये बेसिकली यूज करते थे गन पाउडर को, ठीक है ना, टू डिस्ट्रॉय द अवर एनिमीज. ओके, दीज आर द हिस्ट्री ऑफ द एक्सप्लोसिव. It is continuous. Next slides. So So the use of gunpowder to loosen the fragmentation of rock in the mining is begun during the 17th century. Like, okay, so the gunpowder is coming. Firstly, it is used in where? In the war, in any kind of war is taking place in the between the two different countries. The gunpowder is basically used in the first for that purpose in the 12 BC. But in the if we talk about the mining scenario and the mining purpose, the gunpowder is firstly used in the 17th century in the Europe. Okay, so you in the picture you see this picture. This is the first magazine. Okay, this is the first magazine is created at विलियम्सबर्ग. ओके, कॉलोनियल विलियम्सबर्ग वर्जीनिया में यूएसए में फर्स्ट मैगजीन क्रिएट किया गया था इन द 1775. ओके, टू स्टोर द गन पाउडर एंड द फर्स्ट मैगजीन इन द हिस्ट्री टू फाइट द अमेरिकन नेटिव्स. ओके, ये फर्स्ट मैगजीन बनाया गया था कि हिस्ट्री में अमेरिकन से फाइट कर सके. ओके, so these are the some kinds of history you have to know. So I will move to the next slide. So the if we study the chronological order of a high explosive, basically explosive is divided into the two groups. Okay, so I will explain very well in the later slides, but in these slides there are some explosive which are discovered in the early 1880s. Okay, so the first explosive is the nitroglycerin, which is called Ng. Okay, was discovered by the Cyanus Sobro in the 1846, and nitroglycerin is a mixture of nitric acid, sulfuric acid, and glycerol. So basically, I am just explaining here which has stemming and blasting. Which has stemming and blasting. What are you asking, Bukia Sudhakar? Which has streaming and blasting? What is this? What are you asking? I'm not getting what you're asking. Okay, I'm continuing this subject. So basically explosive जो होता है, the explosive is divided into two types. Okay, the first type explosive is the high explosive, and second type is the low explosive. Okay, so in this high explosive, first nitroglycerin has been discovered in the 1840. And what is nitroglycerin? It is nothing that the nitric acid plus glycerol, and these two form in the formation form of this nitroglycerin and the glycerol. Nitric acid and glycerol is in the form of liquid formation. Okay, so what the American does, they have the cotton. Okay, they have the cotton. What they do, they just dip into the beaker, like it is the nitric acid and glycol and some sulfuric acid, H2O. Okay, so they dip this cotton to this particular beaker, and out this, and this is formed like a like thin cotton is dipping there and then bind together, and in the form that it is formed like a cartridge, and this is called nitroglycerin explosive. Okay, it is high explosive. Why it is called high, I will explain very well. Okay, in the later slide I will explain. Basically 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 understand one thing. There's a word called sensitivity. Okay, so what is sensitivity? Sensitivity means I am just taking the example. For example, there is a one boy. Okay, there is a boy. If you say anything to the boy, okay, if you say anything like you use any bad words to him, so they have very sensitive to that particular word. Okay, they वो emotional, they became emotional. Okay, and they are not taking it. Okay, वो मुझे क्या बोल दिया, and वो उसने मुझे कैसे जवाब दे दिया. Okay, likewise there is a second boy जिसको आप कुछ भी बोल दो, we can say anything to the boy, they have no effect in that. Okay, so it means that this boy is the sensible and very sensitive to the bad environment. Okay, likewise the sensitivity in the field of explosive, it is very important word to understand. The sensitivity is the kind of word, and the meaning of that sensitivity means if you apply a small amount of impact in any explosive, it will be it will be explode. Okay, it will be explode like anything. Okay, it means that the explosive is highly sensitive. Okay, the explosive is highly sensitive because if we put any force and impact in the very fraction of second, so it will be explode like anything. Okay, so you have you people have any very curiosity have that, sir, how you differentiate high explosive एंड लो एक्सप्लोसिव. ओके, आप कैसे कह सकते हो कि ये हाई है ये लो है? सो आई विल एक्सप्लेन नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. सो बेस्ड ऑन understand the concept, understand the concept, based on based on based on sensitivity of explosive. Okay, based on sensitivity of explosive, we divide the explosive into two part. Okay, if high sensitivity is explosive, उसको हम बोलेंगे high explosive. If low sensitive explosive is there, it's called low explosive. And what is high sensitive? Which can be explode like anything by the small amount of force impact applied in the fraction of second. Okay, so this is the basics of the characterizations of the high explosive and low explosive. I'm explaining again. Uh, like in the heat in the fire triangle. Okay, in the fire triangle we have three things. Okay, first one is the oxygen, second one is the combustible material, and third one is the heat or igniter. Okay, so with the help of three of the things, the fire can be created. Okay, same likewise, same in the explosive. In the explosive, to be explode, we need three things. Okay, we need three things. First one is a fuel. Okay, fuel means like diesel. Okay, like any carbohydrates, oil. Okay, so first we need fuel. Second we need oxygen like fire. Here we need oxidizer. Okay, oxidizer like ammonium nitrate. I will explain everything in the later slide. Okay, and third one is a igniter. Okay, like in the detonator we ignite the explosive. Okay, then only the explosive will explode. Okay, this is the basics I am explaining how explosive explode and what is the mechanism of to be explode. Okay, so one second, चैट में कुछ आया है. Not visible, sir. Okay, okay, thank you. So so I have already explained you the sensitivity. Based on the sensitivity we can differentiate which one is the high explosive, which one is the low explosive. Okay, so for example, any explosive which is only deflagrate, it means that when we provide any shock wave to that particular explosive, it will only deflagrate. And what is the meaning of deflagrate? It means that the explosive is just like burning. Okay, they are not providing any shock, they are not like exploded. Okay, so based on the sensitivity we will divide into two categories. First one is the high explosive, second one is the low explosive. So those explosive which is very high sensitive, it will be explode with the small amount of impact and shock wave. Okay, so those explosive which cannot be explode in the very small amount of impact is called low explosive. Clear hai? So I will explain everything in the later slides in detail. I am just giving the brief about in everything. Okay, so if we study the chronology of high explosive, The first explosive is the nitroglycerin. Okay, the nitroglycerin was discovered by the Several scientist in the 1846, and the nitroglycerin is a mixture of nitric acid, sulfuric acid, and glycerol. Okay, so in the early 1880 early 1800, the Americans was use the nitric acid and dip the cotton into that and make them explosive, and they use in the our mining. Okay, likewise the TNT full form is very important point of view for the examination. It's called trinitrotoluene. Okay, the trinitrotoluene was invented by the German chemist Joseph Wilbrand in 1963. This TNT is also called the high explosive. Okay, the dynamite was patented by the Sir Alfred Nobel in the 1867. He is also developed as the gelatine is the 1875. What is gelatine? Gelatine is like a nitroglycerin. Okay, कॉटन नाइट्रोग्लिसरीन को ही हम लोग जिलेटाइन बोलते हैं. Okay, so the dynamite was discovered by Alfred Nobel. It is a very important question. It can be come into examinations. Okay, in 1867 he discovered. Okay, so they in this line there is a very good story I would like to share with you people. You know, the Nobel Prize, the name of Nobel Prize is coming from the Alfred Nobel by the discovery of their dynamite. Okay, after the discovery of dynamite, the fragmentation of rock blasting is very easy. Okay, that's why the Nobel Prize is giving on the name of the Alfred Nobel, because he discovered a very great thing like dynamite, and the explosive industry started from there only. Because in the nitroglycerin, it is very sensitive. Okay, so when the miners is taking place the nitroglycerin, so during the course of transportation, it will be exploded, and the many miners will died because of safety concern, because it is very sensitivity. The from the vibration, from the jerk, from the road, it will be get blasted. Okay, correct. Texas port accident. Correct. Okay. Okay. So dynamite is the discovered alpha novel. The ammonium nitrate was synthesized in the 1659 by the J.R. Gulliver. J.R. Gulliver. These are the story of that. All those things. This is not very important. Okay. So these things is very important. Like trinitrotoluene. Okay, is very important. The examiner may ask the full form of TNT, and dynamite discovered by the Alfred Nobel. Okay. So next slide. So if we in the course of chronology of high explosive, so high explosive is very sensitive. Okay, and very sensitive to the any impact. So there are n number of explosion take place in the early 80s. Okay, in the early 80s, and the many civilians and many miners were dead. Okay, so on that time during the transportation of explosive from one port to another port, the explosion will take place. So these are the photographs of some kind of this explosion which take place in the history. Okay, so these are the history of the explosive. So the penicillin was the first synthesized in 1981. This is not very important. Okay, and Penthricite was the first synthesized in the 1891 by the Brinhard and Wingert by the nitration and the production of PETN, that is pentaerythritol tetranitrate, is started in 1912. It is very important. Actually, another point is important, that is formula, that is definition point of view. So PETN definition you have to know that pentaerythritol tetranitrate. Okay, pentaerythritol tetranitrate was started in the 1912 in the Germans in the World War, and slurry water gel explosive were invented in 1980s. The ingredients are varies from polyvinyl alcohol, guar gum, dextrum gum, urea, formaldehyde. These are the addition part of the slurry, influence slurry. And the emulsion was invented in 1961 by the Rich Egli and Albert Nicker. Okay, so what is emulsion, what is slurry, I will explain in the below slides. So here we can conclude that the explosive can be classified in the high explosive, and low explosive. Okay, and also the explosive can be classified into the primary explosive and the secondary explosive. I will explain the high explosive and the low explosive. As I already speak that the shock wave passes through the high explosive at high speed. It means that in the small amount of shock wave, this explosive can be explode. In the low explosive, the shock wave passes through the very low explosive at the low speed. It means that for the a small amount of shock, it cannot be explode. It will only deflagrate. Okay, so I am explaining these things slides. 1 second. So what this point is telling to you. For example, one is the high explosive, second one is the low explosive. Okay, so in high explosive, the sensitivity is the high. In low explosive, sensitivity is the low. It means that a small impact, the explosive can explode like anything. Here, for a small impact, the explosive only deflagrate. Here the important, only deflagrate. So what is deflagrate? For example, you put detonator here. It is an electrical detonator. You connected the wire to this detonator and you connect it to the exploder. You push. So here, detonator. Okay. So when low explosive is in the form of cartridge. These are the examples. Okay. You just push that button in the exploder. Push the button in exploder. The current will go to the this electric detonator and it will be blasted. But it is a low explosive. What is a low explosive? The whole explosive is not explode. It will deflagrate. It means that the burning will start. A small burning will start. Okay, it will not explode like as the high explosive explode. Okay, it will only burning like the surface, upper superficial surface pe, like it is burned like that. Okay, it is burned like that. Okay, so this is known as deflagration. This is known as de deflagrations. Okay, so in the next slide I'm explaining you the whole thing. So here you understand one thing. You understand one thing very well. You understand that high explosive, high sensitivity, low explosive, low sensitivity. So tell me which one is the safe. Tell me which one is the safe. Low explosive or high explosive? Visujit, Mormu, which one is the safe explosive? What do you understanding? Low. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. So here you understand a very good concept actually here. So like what is the example of high explosive? You just learn this explosive name na. Nitroglycerin, TNT, PETN. Okay, these are the high explosive, and the low explosive is like what? Like slurry, emulsion, and foam. Okay, so what does it mean? Why the low explosive is the less sensitive? Because to increase the safety of the explosive, the sensitivity of these explosive is intentionally coming to the down level. Okay, so that when the explosive is getting transportation from one place to another place. Okay, the explosive is transportation from one place to another place. It can be safely go to the mines. Okay, it can safely go to the mines. Okay, that's why the sensitivity of this explosive is low, and 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 it is very safe to transportation, and usable. Okay, so in the early 80s 90s we used these explosive as a mines. So what happened when any miners take the nitroglycerin from this area, this will be blast in the middle of the road. Okay, this can be during the handling of the explosive, it can be blasted in like anything. Okay, so that's why the sensitive of explosive is a very important topic, and with the help of the sensitivity we can increase the increase the sensitivity of explosive, and which is differentiated by this high explosive and low explosive. Okay, so I believe you understand very well. Very good, you are understanding. Okay, so accordingly there are another classification which is very important for your examination point of view, like primary explosive and secondary explosive. Okay, so one second, one very important call is coming. I'm just coming in 1 minute. Sorry, actually it's actually one important call from my home, that's why uh, I was go out. So here, hmm. So similarly, there are two types of explosive, like primary explosive and secondary explosive. Very sensitive to the shock and flame, but not very destructive used in the illicit like secondary explosive. Okay, and low sensitive explosive is very high energy related. Okay, then I will explain it in the next slides. Wait. So the primary explosive is very sensitive to the shock and flame, but not much destructive. Used in the main explosive and only used in detonator. Okay, so actually, what is primary explosive? Those explosive which is very sensitivity to the shock, like those are the high explosive, is also known as primary explosive. Okay, those are the low explosive, is also known as a secondary explosive. Okay, so that's why it is called lead azide and lead stephanate. Okay, these are the two example of primary explosive which used in the detonator basically. Okay, and sometimes PTN, TNT, nitroglycerin, they are also called as a primary explosive, and they are also known as the high explosive. The high explosive is differentiated with the by the differences with the help of sensitivity. So those sensitivity is a high, it's called primary explosive, it's called high explosive. Those sensitivity is low, it's called low explosive, it's called secondary explosive. Okay, like in secondary explosive I already explained, like low explosive. Okay, the most AN based like ammonium nitrate based explosive are the main explosive, like NFO, emulsion and slurry I already explained. The PET and TNT as the detonator transmitting device as a base charge. Okay, what is this is called high explosive. Okay, that's why we take the transportation with the help of in the wooden box, in the wooden box, and it is separated from the secondary explosive. I will explain in the legislation part in this bill. NG based explosive dynamite deletant are no more, it is not using in currently. Okay, in use in India, but in the Europe and US mine they are using. Okay, so what is the full form of ASA now? Okay, actually actually the ASA is the here is mentioned lead azide, lead estephanate, and flaked aluminum called ASA. ये question, this is very important full form you can learn from this slide. I will upload it in the mining gyan portal, mining gyan app. The ASA full form is the lead azide, lead estephanate, and flaked aluminum. Okay. And what is the next out? What are the next out? Detonator not use explosive as misfire. Bhukia, what are you asking? Detonator not used explosive has misfire. I'm not getting your questions. Moram, most manufacturer PETN max used in detonator. Yes, exactly, Moram. Most of the manufacturer use the PETN. Due to the cost point of view, it is very cheap. That's why it is used as a primary explosive and high explosive. And that PETN is used to do initiate the booster, and booster will initiate the secondary explosive like ANFO and slurry. Your doubt is clear. Hirachan used in detonator. Why? That's why TNT and PATN used in the detonator. Yes, that's why PNT and these are the high explosive. That's why it is used. Vishwanath, I believe your ASA is clear. Lead azide, lead estephanate, and flaked aluminum. It's called ASA. Hokia Shudhkar, your doubt is your doubt. I'm not getting your doubt. Please ask me again. I will clear it. Okay, okay. I'm maybe he is not in class. I will go to the next. Okay. Huh. So the above slides are made for the high explosive and low explosive. In this slide says, students kindly understand. In this slide says, I am just taking the brief and the crispy concept of the cover in this slides only. Okay, so I will upload in this portal and you can learn anything. Okay, so explosive accessories. Okay, so what is explosive accessories? And it means that what are the different components of the explosives and how it will be help to make a explosive system. Okay, what is system? Actually, system is a, I'm explaining this. Actually, what is system? Okay, actually, for explosion and for blasting. Okay, for explosion or for blasting, we need a complete set of connection. What we need? Complete set of connection. Okay, like exploder we need, the wire we need. Okay, from wire the electric detonator we need, from electric detonator the nonel we need. Okay, from nonel the DTS down the hole nodal is needed. Okay, this is detonator. From this nodal detonator, booster is need. Okay, booster is need. This is booster. Okay, from this booster, the secondary explosive is needed. Okay, so these all are a part of explosive accessories. These all are a part of explosive accessories. Okay, so we will understand the explosive and accessories in these slides. So this is called explosive accessories. I believe you understand this point. So there are lots of terminology it is written there. Okay, and I will explain first I will explain the each terminology. After that I will explain the initial sequence of the surface blasting. Okay, so the first terminology is the safety fuse. So what is safety fuse? So I will explain here. So I will explain the safety fuse. So here the first topic is safety fuse. So what is safety fuse? So in the early 1995 1996. Okay, so when the knowledge is not in coming the place in the explosive industry, on that time the safety fuse is used. So what is safety fuse? Safety fuse is a pipe like structure. In the pipe like structure, the gunpowder in between the safety fuse. Okay, and and how it is connected to the blast hole. For example, let assume that this is a blasting phase. Okay, where many holes are drilled for the blasting purpose, for the explosion purpose. So we connected these hole. Okay, we connected this hole and we want to blast this hole. So we just make a, these are the DF. I will explain what is DF. That is the detonating fuse. Okay, from DF, a ordinary detonator. What is ordinary detonator? I will explain. The ordinary detonator is cramped to the safety fuse. Okay, it's cramped to safety fuse. Okay, so what is the cramp? Actually, the open. This is the open ended. The safety fuse inserted in this and cramped, and we just fire this with the help of lighter and anything. Okay, so it will be burn till later the all the exploder shot firer, they they just exit from the blasting phase and it will be burned like 2 to 3 meter per minute. Okay, So it is the, for example, it is 8 meter. So it will take 10 to 15 minutes to burn, and after burning it will be initiated the primary charge, and from primary charge it will initiate the base charge, and that the ordinary detonator will explode, and then this system initiation will go through the detonating fuse, and it will further and it initiate all the hole, and it will be get blasted. Okay, so the safety fuse is a pipe like structure which is inside the safety fuse. The gunpowder is there. The it will having the property of deflagration, like it will burn fast. Okay, but it will be slow burning from the shock tube of like knowledge. It's called safety fuse. I believe you understand. Are you people understanding the concept or not? Please confirming me here. Okay, thank you, Hirachan. So today I stopped the classes now. Okay, I will continue the whole explosive accessories in the next slides, next classes. In next classes, these all topic will be completed. Explosive part is completed. Then we started the like here. You understand now? 2 to 3 meter per minute. I am explaining. Okay, so in the next classes we will start the what is rock blasting कैसे होता है, and rock blasting will be going through. Okay, after that we will take the initiation system, and after that after initiation system I will explain the overburden blasting, how the connection is take place, how you calculate the how much explosive is needed for the particular hole. So likewise I will cover the all the topics. So for explosive particularly we will take 2 classes. Okay, so 1 classes is today and next classes we will do it by tomorrow. Okay. Thank you all for your good responses. Thank you so much.
To watch the complete video, download Mining Gyan 2.0 app from the Play Store and enjoy seamless learning with Mining Gyan 2.0.